So, as you can see, I am my typical faction, the Seleucids. I've taken a mesomorphic army, I like to call it. It's where I mix distribution of chevrons amongst the infantry as well as the cavalry. And I typically take 4 archers with it because 4 archers and above allows you to have a very good amount of chevrons on your infantry and cav as well. Anything less than 3 archers, and I think you're pretty much gonna go for like an infantry or a cavalry focused chevron count. I mean, you still could mix them up, but I think it's kind of stupid. There's just so few chevrons to go around. You either want like strong infantry or just strong cavalry, depending on the faction you're gonna take. So, like, if I was gonna fight Rome, um, some disagree, but I think it's usually better to just take gold 2 cataphracts and sort of be a little bit evasive with the pikes and use them mainly to support cataphract operations and not use them as the forward heavy unit, because even gold 2 pikes, as great as they are, fall very devastatingly to missile damage more than anything else, and then rout after that from the amount of men they have left. But if I was Macedon, however, in that same situation, it would be better to take gold 2 units, only because you don't have cataphracts anyway. Gold companions, I mean, gold 2 companions are absolutely amazing units, and I love taking them, but like in a 1 versus 1, the gold 2 royal is going to be better and has a big shield, help defend it from Pila. It's still very hard to impossible to win anyway against a very competent Rome player, but I think your chances are better there. Speaking of Macedon, and going away from that tangent that I just went on, Titan Spagli here, one of my favorite Macedon players, always very solid with the faction. Excellent at rushing, excellent at holding, very good at using slice charges on engaged units against his pikes. Has taken 2 archers and 12 infantry with 6 just gold companions. I have a mix of like gold 1 cataphracts. I have 1 gold 2 cataphract and 1 cataphract just gold. And then I have 5 or 6 gold 2 silver shield pikemen, and then 4 gold silver shield pikemen. So it's a very even distribution of chevrons there. I've got some very reliable infantry and very reliable cataphracts both. So I'm going to immediately just go on an archer war against Mr. Paglia. And it's going to go really well at first because it's 4 archers on 2, and even though he has elite archers, my sheer volume of arrows are going to quickly deplete his missile units. As you can see right there, they're whittling down to almost nothing. And I'm only going to take casualties really on 2 archer units. So that's great. They are quickly sort of forming up on my position here. We've got Mohammed as Greece. Now keep in mind, Mohammed hasn't played in years and years, like 3 or 4 years maybe, since, maybe even 5 since he was like really active, so he's very rusty, so just keep that in mind. Go easy on him. Given enough time to play and practice, I don't know if we'll ever see that, he would be an absolutely phenomenal player, one of the best in this entire game. So just give Mohammed a little bit of credit here. He's coming back after a very long time of not playing. And we've also got Titan's Beast here. He's taken 13 Urbans, 1 signature Legionary First Cohort, and 6 Praetorian Cav with his signature faction, the SPQR. Lucas the Brutii with those 2 archers. We have Amanda, a legendary classic of CWB lore, with 4 archers, 2 cavalry auxilia, and 4 Praetorian cavalry. And it looks like Amanda always goes for chevrons on the Urbans when they take a lot of archers. So that's what she's doing. Very unique move here, taking the 2 militia cav. Of course, we don't necessarily need to have 6 heavy cavalry for Amanda just to have a numerical cavalry advantage. And given that we have cataphracts, they have companions, even if only Luke and I took cavalry, we'd still have a pretty big cavalry advantage. Over here, it looks like Beast caught a militia cav of Amanda's, but it will come back. If we look at this battle here, Mohammed's use of archers is very old school. This is a very old school way of doing it, which is sort of like, the new way of doing it is like what we're doing, where we just spread our archers out across the map, and we have to spread our armies also across the map in order to protect them effectively. And ideally, you want to get an envelopment situation so that you have those opportunities to get flank shots against enemy missiles or infantry or cavalry, whatever you can shoot, to accumulate casualties before the main battle even begins. And another great thing about this envelopment tactic is because you have archers everywhere. If the enemy turns to face anywhere, you always have a place to shoot them in the sides with these archers. Of course, it's a little hard with the Seleucids or something, because if you have regular archers, your range isn't really that great. If you have Cretans, though, it works wonders. You can stay at a really safe distance and shoot anything from very far away. And of course, they're inevitably going to have to turn units if you flank, so there's always going to be a chance to shoot those archers. It's going to be very important for them, therefore, because we have this position to win that archer war, which they can do, I think. They have the 8 Cretan archers and the two Cretans from Paglia, giving a grand total of 10, but Paglia took a lot of loss on those Cretans initially. One's already down. So we've got 6 elite archers and 4 GG1 regular archers here to fight a combined total of 10 Cretans. So our odds of winning the archer war aren't too great. And another thing about that is that I'm the Seleucids, so my infantry is going to be very vulnerable to missile fire. The other issue with the Seleucids here is that, another challenge really, is that relying so heavily on cataphracts and less on infantry, it's going to be very hard because their pikes are effective against the cataphracts. And while cataphracts can still kill isolated pike units out in the field pretty easily because they're very well armored, they have a very good shock and mass effect. And they obviously have those maces, which demolish pikes in sword combat. Any pike spears will still kill them pretty quickly. Spartans, though, they might have an easier time if they get them in the back or before they turn around. But Spartans have those hit points. They don't rely too much on armor. But after a sustained fight, obviously the cataphracts should still prevail, if they get them all blobbed up and out of spear range. So the enemy was thinking about turning toward me, but Luke sort of came in to assist. So my infantry line is a lot more powerful thanks to the urbans of Luke. Paglia is hugging the red line, so we're sort of choked out. This is choke point here, kind of making it very difficult for either side to maneuver any further to the right. But it sort of favors us, because if Paglia can't move pikes out here and deny this area, then our cavalry will simply bully off these companions and make it to the other side. Luke is going to aggressively push the Macedonians. His infantry should win in a direct clash against them, so Paglia is going to be forced to withdraw. Archers are winded and just out of range, so they weren't really able to get great kills, although they did clip some units during that withdrawal. Paglia is going to counter Phalanx charge here, and if you notice, Paglia has the gold. It looks like mostly the gold royals in the front, so if Luke just decides to mass Pila, he's going to get poorly upgraded units first, which is a very nice move there. If you see the gold 2 units are in the back, protected. But all Luke really has to do is just touch, engage, or just manually Pila, and he'll be able to throw Pila to Paglia's much more strong gold 2 Royal Pike units, and they'll die before even doing anything. But typically, you always want a gold unit in the front, just to force the Roman Phalanx to do one extra step of micro, not make it easy for him to get your valuable units at the back there. So some of my pike units have taken absolutely devastating damage because Mohammed has been shooting them with those Cretans, but it looks like on the whole it isn't that debilitated. I'm not that debilitated yet. It's really just one unit seems to be really down. These units are going to be sort of a Pila screen. If you look closely, they're just gold pikes. So I'm looking to have Beast just Pila these pikes and not Luke's infantry. So I'm fine with this. I think this is the least valuable infantry we have, so if Beast Pila's it, I am totally okay with that. My gold 2 Silver Shield Pikemen are going to directly engage with Paglia, as Paglia is getting Pila'd, so even though I have Silver Shield Pikemen and Paglia's Royal Pikemen, my number advantage is, well, and I started glitching here. I don't run this through. This is a glitch. As you can see, units reform in time, but I take absolutely atrocious losses. This unit that had 120 men is now down to the 80s from reforming. I guess it was confusing for Paglia to tell what was going on. It could have been a user error, but it was a glitch. I did not. I actually formed very orderly around Paglia. I didn't accidentally try to Phalanx charge or run through. But it looks like it's not an excuse to lose, really, because Paglia's numbers are also very depleted from this 2 versus 1 going on right here. And Luke, all he's going to do is push through that urban. He's going to try to get through this gap. You see this very weak pike is what's guarding these two pikes' flanks. So Luke's going to push with my Silver Shield pikeman into this pike, and we're going to try to, there we go, just try to make it difficult for these other two pikes to stand out. Paglia's got a reserve phalanx, as you can see, and as Luke tries to push in and try to kill these royals on their flanks, this little backup pike, which is gold 2, is going to meet this urban, and over time it's going to cause a lot of casualties. You can't underestimate a gold 2 royal or a Silver Shield pikeman. If they're attacking an urban, it's bad. The urban is going to die quicker than you might think. So Paglia's going to hold very well against this little urban here. So that's pretty much things as it stands. On the other front, Mohammed is soaking up Pila, but he's not engaging Amanda. Now, Amanda only has 10 urbans. They are very highly upgraded, but Mohammed has 12 Spartans, so he does outnumber Amanda, and he probably will hold very well against her if she decides to attack. So I think Amanda would need support, or would need to get very lucky with cap strikes, which would be hard with Beast around, in order to truly defeat Mohammed in a head-on brawl. Mohammed's archers are in an interesting zigzag here. I think it is easy. His archers, I think, would do better if they were spread out, because they're going to get shot in the back and the side a lot, which they're going to lose units a little bit more quickly. And they're overlapping a little bit in some cases. They're very close by, so any archer used to target one unit of Mo's archers will hit the unit that's overlapping it a little bit. So it's an inefficient way to keep the archers alive. But he has so many that they are still in pretty good health, and if they shoot these Silver Shield pikemen just throughout the whole battle, and he just delays engagement, otherwise they can quickly sort of turn the infantry war into something that looks like a 2 versus 3, really. So we definitely have to do something about these archers still. Can't rest on our laurels. And it looks like Amanda's archers are untouched, which is fabulous for the stage of the battle. And Luke's archers are only half depleted. Even my archers are still alive, so they're not really... they haven't spent a lot of time shooting back at our archers too much, but it looks like Mohammed has taken devastating damage on many of his Cretan archers as you look at the numbers here. Although a few are fairly unscathed still. Now, if we continue on examining this battle, a critical point happens here. Paglia is going to send a detachment of elite gold 2 royal pikemen with the general close by to guard the flank of the front line that Beast and Paglia have established here. If you look closely here, this one urban that Luke sent in is down to 37 men. It's definitely not a super great support, so it's just Silver Shield pikemen holding this thin little line for right now. Luke's general also comes up. Paglia sort of runs a royal pike through, not the greatest thing ever. It sort of looks like he lost control of it a little bit late, but he does put phalanx down, and this is just an aggressive blob. One thing that's going to keep this royal pike alive a bit longer, though, is that urbans from Beast are so close to it, though. So I definitely think he ran a little bit too far in with that royal there. It's going to take some losses, especially with where Luke's urban is. If I was Beast, I might send a little royal, like one urban, to counterattack this, help that royal out here, because these little things can be critical over time if unchecked. Beast lobbing Pila behind Paglia. It's going to hit my Silver Shield pikeman directly. It's not a terrible thing, because if Luke's urbans are left unpeeled and they peel it back and they hit either Macedon or Beast urbans, it is a good exchange. And then right here we have the beginnings of an engagement going on. I think this is important, this infantry hold here, to examine, but this is where things really start to get extreme. Very good engagement here from Amanda, very aggressive. Beast is sending Cav out to probably run through these Spartans and destroy these urbans in the back. There's not a lot of support for Amanda back here. Amanda's begun aggressively engaging urbans against Spartans. Really good for Amanda here. This Spartan is pointing backwards for some reason, so it's going to take losses slowly but surely. But Mohammed still has plenty of reserves here. And keep in mind, Mohammed has more Spartans than Amanda has urbans, so it shouldn't be hard for Mohammed to have to keep his gaps from being exploited too desperately from at least Amanda. Right here we've got a Praetorian cavalry that's begun to rout. Small engagement that we changed our mind on a little bit. Luke over here runs right into these Royals. Meanwhile, 2 Cataphracts are trying to stop Beast from enveloping our flank here. Gonna hit the backs of that Royal. One Royal's gonna turn around and start getting a lot of casualties on these Cataphracts if I don't pull them out soon, which I probably should. Although if you look at the numbers of these Urbans, they've gone from 80 men to 50 in 2 cases. But there's just too many Royals here. I think I should have pulled out a little bit sooner. So one Cataphract's gonna start to rout. Right there. Meanwhile, per Luke's instruction, we decided to attack these Royals here, try to take out Paglia's general here, and I like the idea of it. We have the cavalry to do it with these Urbans attacking at the same time. And it doesn't look like these Royals are in a really great spot here. They're losing combat, but the Cataphracts have taken a lot of losses here. They're in the 30s almost immediately from this engagement here. This attack that I did also didn't go very great, although at least one of the 2 Cataphracts is doing fairly well. Caused a lot of damage to Beast Urbans, but this Royal here is going to be able to counter it, and I should pull it out probably soon. That being said, I am worried about this flank because there's not a lot here to protect us. Like if Beast just surges his Urbans through, all these pikes are going to rout. And I don't like these Testudos. I think they should just be... I think these Urbans should just sort of be like in a normal formation. Because if they were just in a normal formation spread, roughly the length of the pikes, then running through wouldn't work. And Beast would be fighting 2v1 infantry odds. Right here, though, we've got that mush I've been talking about here. Luke keeps 2 Urbans sort of in reserve defending against Beast, and this Cataphract is also doing something of a job here so that this does not get overwhelmed too terribly. Meanwhile, right here, Cataphracts aggressively attack, smash right into Beast's cavalry, and hit a Spartan, which is sword fighting. Before the Spartans put their pikes down, Cataphracts withdraw in an orderly fashion. Luke goes for a charge. The angle isn't the best. It looks like, honestly, his cavalry charge is like kind of went in front of the pikes, which is bad. You can see Cataphracts took nasty casualties right there. In comes Beast with a charge, precision attack right there. Routs 2 Urbans, routs Luke's general. And with Paglia coming in at a great time right there, it really slid past. He was just hanging out here, just waiting. Slid right by our defenses. Cataphracts are all worn out and depleted. That is a attack that completely went against us. Luke just routed tremendously. Right there. Down goes Muhammad's general. So these Gold 1 or Gold 2 Urbans, whatever Amanda has, are actually performing very well against Muhammad. Muhammad's phalanx is not what I would say very cohesive. His gaps are not really protected. As you can see, there's no like consistent line of Spartans. They're all sort of isolated out there. Even the Spartans that are close together, there's gaps. That really helps the Urbans out, especially if they have chevrons on them. Spartans already struggle to sort of kill Urbans quickly. They win, obviously, if their formation is tight and good in the long run, usually. But if they are kind of isolated everywhere, the Urbans will eventually overcome them. And you see evidence of that really well here. Amanda's actually doing very well on her side. Even withstanding support from Beast. In a lot of places, Spartans are losing combat, but regardless, that has all been counteracted by sort of the failure of the Cataphracts and our cavalry to do anything decisive as they attacked. And that failure to wipe out Paglia's pikes really hurt us, and it really got thrown in our face when Beast countercharged the Urbans of Luke. In theory, what should have happened was what Luke was thinking, what we were thinking too, I agreed with the attack, was that those 3 Royals would get obliterated by the Urbans, sort of charging them with Cataphracts and Praetorians in hand. But the Cataphracts just didn't kill them quickly enough and took a lot of losses, and Luke's cavalry, he tried to slice charge and it just didn't, the pathfinding just wasn't there at that moment, and it was a very, very devastating, critical defeat. But it's not quite over yet, it's just very bad, because luckily Amanda did kill a lot of Spartans here. But if you look at Beast's infantry and compare to ours, after Luke lost all those Urbans, this thin line of Silver Shield Pikemen that got shot on by so much Pila is not going to do anything to these very healthy, untouched, pristine condition Urbans here. So I'm looking for anywhere I can attack with the Cataphracts, where Royal Pikemen are not involved. and it's going to be very hard to do that because they have so much cavalry to countercharge us. Paglia even has a companion here. Very smart way to use a companion because they're not great in direct combat against most of the elite heavy cavalry in the Realm Total War, but they are still very deadly in charges. Really good charge here from Luke right there. Got some, trying to win back those urban losses here. Killed some of Beast Servants there. He's going to try to charge in and out opportunistically. So we push with our infantry, Luke's infantry, my royals. I mean, my silver shields. Trying to create pressure and make create opportunities for cavalry attacks. My cataphracts are just tired and depleted, so I'm trying to rest them up a little bit. As you can see here, not very reliable when they're tired. Luke comes in with another charge. He's going to try to do as much damage as he can. Beast hasn't really done anything with his urban, so they're still fairly fresh. In comes Luke and Amanda with a charge. Cataphracts are getting attacked by Paglia. I need to get them out of there. They keep getting stuck on units. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't rout right then and there. It looks like this charge failed to have any effect. And my cataphracts are just too worn out and depleted. Nowhere for them to really stick at this point. There's just too many royals and cavalry ready to countercharge them. Although I think at this point, like if I don't use them, it's pretty much game over. So I have to do something with them. But last little attack here. Looks like Amanda finally did get vanquished. Lifting pikes to let Mr. Luke through. Another little charge, but failing to really rout anything, and that's what we really need is routing. Spartans coming in behind me. I try to turn and face. I'm kind of slow to put phalanx down on. Pretty bad. And someone admits defeat. So I never really got a chance to rest my cataphracts up. The infantry battle just went sour before I really got a chance to make a second good attack with them. So I mean, it's not so bad. Like, if your cataphracts are tired, if the enemy's also winded or tired, then it's not a bad idea to attack, really. But that's not really the case. Paglia's winded in some cases, warmed up. They're pretty fresh. Enemy didn't move much this game. So that's pretty much the battle. I'm just trying to just kind of get some less glorious fight reels in here. I think if I say I wish I did one thing differently, I think maybe I should have used the cataphracts a little bit more at the end and not worried too much about resting them. Because it was, at the end, I think that infantry battle was definitely obtrusively going against us. And what we needed was cavalry action to sort of turn around, which is what Luke and Amanda were doing. One cool thing about this battle is that Paglia and Beast got identical kills, 1437. It's almost the amount of entire army of Urbans. 14 Urban, 6 Praetorian Cav is 1472. So, very unique battle, just for the fact that two players got identical kills. Average defeat for us. It's one of those battles I liked because if one thing was, if just like those three royals just routed as we planned, this whole battle could have been completely different because of the position. The Macedon would have no general. Our cavalry would be 3 pikes, more free to attack anything that they want. Those urbans would never have died. Luke's 4 or 5 urbans that he sent there would be fine. His general would be fine. My cataphracts would be better, at least, and be in a much stronger position to envelop them and generate some kind of an attack. So anyway, guys, that is the battle. Hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting example of fortune swinging against us when all hope looks positive. The smallest things really do matter. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time.